What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Spoiled women and some men. But, you know, here's the problem, right? Life doesn't allow you to be spoiled as a man. No one's coming to put you in your soft boy era. Spoiled women, modern women everywhere. Let's get into it. The question to you is, could this be the result?
Let them daddies tell them no. Let them discipline
You say it
them.
all the time.
I say it all the time because I just see where I went wrong as a mother with Amira. Like it is so hard to retract. It is just easier to be mean a little bit than be nice.
Yeah.
Because I realized a long time ago, but it was just too late. Like just going into Target, and every time we go into Target and she just asks for anything, something small, I'm like, sure, why not? Like, she's a good kid. She gets good grades. She's always been so advanced and smart and 3-4 grades ahead of herself. So I'm like, why, if I have money? She was my only child, you know? I never told her no because there was no reason to tell her no. My mom told me no because we didn't have the money. It wasn't because I was a bad kid or she didn't want me to have it. We couldn't afford it. So I'm in my head, I'm like, sure, I'll tell her yes. Like, you want this little Barbie, you want this little whatever. But that over time develops in their head as like they can have whatever they want. Money is endless. There's, you know what I mean? There's no earning system to it. And I remember Tiffany was the person who taught me. She was like, Ashley, you need to make her earn that stuff. Like she makes her daughter earn everything, even Christmas gifts, even birthday gifts. She's like, you need to earn it. Did you get good grades? Did you work hard? Like those type of things. And that is like what I'm instilling in Amira. I've been correcting the behavior over like a course of 4 years. It's just really hard because when you don't teach your children early on, like that they have to earn things, they feel entitled to have it. Like, why wouldn't they?
That was a really good conversation. When you think of the state we're in today, where you have even women like Cardi B speaking out to modern women saying, hey, you might need to go 50-50. How can you, man, save and invest and do all these other things for you? Let's say you're with the guy who you guys have the same earning potential and you're using up your money and most of his money as well. When we're in that state where women will refuse coffee dates from a genuinely good man because they think they deserve fancy dinners, when we're in that day and age where women will reject a man because he's not a 6-figure earner or because he doesn't earn more than her, it makes you wonder, how are these women raised up? And I think there's definitely a correlation between upbringing and expectations for women who you're going to deal with out here in today's world who didn't have fathers to discipline them. You heard the first point that she made there. She says, let the fathers discipline these kids. Listen one more time.
Let them daddies tell them no. Let them discipline
You say it
them.
all the time.
Let the daddies tell them no. Let them discipline them. Fathers are there for discipline and structure. The problem is that, again, they're there for discipline and structure for the children and also a woman. Yes, I said it. Men in general are more frugal. Women own majority of debt out here. They spend emotionally. And so you have a household that's led by a single mother, a woman. She wants nothing to do with the man who tell her anything, and she's raising up children who, because it's a Barbie and it doesn't cost that much, or it's Legos and it doesn't cost that much, she's saying yes, 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 because they're a good kid, because they get good grades in school. But when they get into the real world, you don't get rewarded for your grades. You don't get paid for your good grades. You get paid based on the value that you provide to the market, the world. That's how you get paid, and you have to work for it. There are a lot of good people out here who are struggling because they never understood this concept. There are a lot of good people out here who are highly entitled because they never understood this concept. They think everybody around them is supposed to help them out and everybody owes them something. Men, especially, who are not raised up with a strong male role model, end up looking to the community to look out for them. Oh, we're supposed to stick together, etc. All right, they're looking for people to give them handouts. The women out here are looking for sugar daddies disguised as husbands. It's important for a young child to learn that they can't have everything they want and there have to be sacrifices in life, and it starts early on. And it's also difficult, like she says, to unlearn those things. They have to be trained and programmed to understand how to deal with not getting what they want. That's the real goal is learn how to deal with the emotions that come with not getting what you want. Because you're never going to explain to a child, well, I can't get you this, and why. It's bad for you to get everything you want. They may not put two and two together. They're adults that never understand this until later on in life. But they need that practice to deal with the emotions that come with not getting what they want. Let's talk about Christmas. I think she brought up Christmas here in this video, talking about how they should earn everything, including birthday and Christmas gifts. I agree to an extent. My parents overdid it. They're like immigrants, and I remember celebrating 2 Christmases. And listen, that's not to say that Christmas isn't celebrated in Zambia and other African countries. It's just different, right? It's not about the gifts. Economic reasons, cultural reasons, all types of stuff. But it's not about the gifts. But I never celebrated that. Birthday gifts, we never really got that. But I never celebrated that. And then I got used to it over time. Do I look back and feel sad and regret that? No, I don't. And do I think that's more on the extreme side? Yes. I think you got to find what works for you at the end of the day. But you leave it up to a woman. Here, a woman's telling you she's going to spoil that child. It's hard. It's a lot more natural for a man to play that disciplinarian role. But listen, I've seen other families whose parents aren't immigrants, and it's the same thing. They really are indifferent, or they don't get affected as much with not getting what they want all the time, or they have this very real understanding that I could have some of the things I want, not everything I want, but I could have some of the things I want if I'm willing to do what it takes to work hard and get it. And so a lot of these young men and women grow up in these families and they leave, and you're out here dating and you're wondering why she's so materialistic. Why, when she asks you for something and you say no, does she take it so much to heart? And then you have all the women online who are reaffirming this type of behavior because they were raised the same way. It's a mess. Let's check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment here says, I was a child who was never told no, and it's so hard on learning it as an adult. I really have to make sure that because I've seen this with men too, bro. I've seen this with a lot of men, especially if they're raised up by single mothers. Yeah, yes. Single mothers who treated them like kings, or son husbands gave them everything they wanted, didn't really discipline them. Men need more discipline than the women, in fact. And they get into the real world, and you're wondering why they don't want to take responsibility of themselves in life. You're wondering why when they get a chick pregnant, they don't think they should take care of that child. I'm not talking about the guy who has intention here. No, I'm talking about young men out here who are highly entitled. Everyone suffers when the young ones are raised in an entitled way. Let's keep going. Another comment here says, not birthday or Christmas though. Laugh out loud, but everything else I agree. Another person who says, earn Christmas and B-Day is actually insane. It's not insane. Sometimes you just gotta say no because it's no. Sometimes you just gotta say no just to watch and see how that child reacts. Listen, I only say this personally because sometimes I just felt like that's just the way my mom just got used to it. I was a talkative kid, man. I would ask for anything. I knew I wasn't getting shit. Mom, can I get this? No. Can I get that? No. Yeah, no. Nope. You know what I mean? Before I could even get it out of my mouth, I knew the answer. And sometimes she would say yes, and I would be so grateful and so appreciative. I knew she loved me. This was an abuse to the soft generation. Another comment here says, I've had to learn balance because some things are deserved without work, and that's okay. But I had to remove entitlement. You got to remove entitlement. Gentlemen, you're going to run into a lot of entitled chicks out here. And as a man, it's a very dangerous thing to be in a place where you're always told yes. At home, you get into the real world, that shit stops. And then you start gravitating towards the women who they were told yes, And so they think they're supposed to tell you yes. And then now you're moving in with the chick. And then you have situations where young men are depending on women for survival. Embarrassing. Do not ever put yourself in that position. We've got a woman here who says handing over the disciplinary duties and etc. to her husband has been a game changer for her. Less stress for me, she says. He has a better understanding of what I go through with the kids, and my sons take it more seriously. Yep. I tell you guys of the time when my father, based on trouble with immigration, and in short, it took him longer to come to be with his family here in the States because we came here, then 9/11 happened and things were a lot different. It was a lot harder to get here. For those 7 years without my father, I was going downhill. Now, I would go visit my father back in Zambia once in a while, and he would hear stories. And it wasn't that I was this kid who was involved in things that would concern you in a very tragic way. It was things like, oh, he's being defined. I was getting to that age, 10, 11, 12, where, you're turning into a young man, or at least you think you are. And after 7 years, he finally shows up. Imagine never living with a man for 7 years. And the next day, he's whooping your ass. That was my reintroduction to discipline. And here I am now. Here I am now, man. Hey, grateful for it. Grateful for it. Another comment here says, okay, earning Christmas and B-Day gifts is OD, but I agree. And sometimes say no just to say no. They don't always need an explanation. Another comment here says, I'm so happy I had parents who just loved me and took care of me and wanted me to just enjoy my life. And so this chick is like, oh, my parents just loved me and they gave me whatever I want, blah, blah, blah. Could she be the exception to the rule? Maybe. I mean, what's her definition of success? I wonder how she turned out. But hey, maybe she's an exception. Do you want to bet on the exception in life? That's up to you. Another person responded back to her and says, this is how I will be with my son. So we have a woman here who's like, I'm going to spoil my son. As he gets older, they're only children for a little while. As long as he's well behaved and getting good grades, I'm going to say yes every time. And you're going to spoil your son. And when he gets into the real world, he realizes that his grades and all that, while it's cool, if he hasn't learned to deal with the word no and learn to control his emotions, he will be a danger to himself and others. And when I say that, it doesn't have to always be violent. But a danger to somebody else is you're going to take out that frustration on other people emotionally. You're going to seek for people to treat you like you're their mom. Another comment here says, girl, yes, my 5-year-old thinks every trip to Walgreens means new toys. Another comment here from another woman says, my mother told me no so many times that now I always feel the need to tell myself yes for everything and not thinking rationally before purchasing something. You need a man. You need a man. You're overcorrecting. You need a man in there to tell you to chill out. Listen, guys, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you as always for checking out another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.